Yo, what is up YouTube? We are back again with another zombie video, and in this video today we're going to be taking a look at everything we know about Vanguard zombies, and we're going to be comparing the differences between Cold War zombies and Vanguard zombies and everything new they will be adding into this new zombies mode. Let's get right into it. If you guys are not already subscribed, feel free to hit that subscribe button because I post zombies tips, tricks, and guides every single week and you do not want to miss it. Also, you can follow me on Twitter or join the Discord. Links to those will be in the description below. So the first main difference you guys are going to find out about Vanguard zombies when you first load it up is that there is no round-based map or game mode, at least upon the initial release of the game. Instead, we are greeted with a new zombies game mode, and now they are calling this Anfang. Now, I don't know if it's the map or if it's the game mode, but that's pretty much what they're calling it because this is actually made up a majority of a lot of multiplayer and campaign maps. But a quick rundown of this game mode, since this is all completely new to us, is you will be spawning into a main starting room in Stalingrad. Now, this will be your center hub from all the other maps that you will go to every time you complete a map. But here you will be able to do various things like your pack-a-punch, your mystery box, your crafting table, and your perks. Now they say this is an ever-expanding place as you progress through these maps, and it'll continue to expand and unlock new things for you. But while you are at this hub, they also state that there will be roaming zombies here. So yes, you're not even safe here, but my biggest question about the roaming zombie statement is, are these going to be like outbreak roaming where once they are killed, they're gone until you come back? Or are these going to be roaming zombies like round-based where they come at a lower spawn rate, but they're still going to continuously come, so you cannot camp at this location? But moving on, once you are at this starting room, now you have the choice, after you've upgraded all your stuff, you have the choice to decide one of three maps on which map you want to go to. Now, once you enter these maps, which you have the choice of Hotel Royale, which is a multiplayer map, you have Merville, which is a campaign map, and you have Shinonuma, which is a zombies classic. You have the choice to pick one of these three maps, but once you enter it, you will have a game mode. There are three game modes that will be randomly positioned and selected for each map every time you play it, so it'll be at random. But the objectives are Blitz, Harvest, and Transmit. Now Blitz, it's pretty much a holdout mission where you just have to hold there for a certain amount of time and take on an onslaught of zombies. And then Harvest, you will have to go around the map and collect these runes, these stones, and bring them to an obelisk to finish the objective. And Transmit, you'll have to escort a zombie's head pretty much floating around the map and just escort it throughout the map. But once it gets to its location, finding the rifts, then you will complete that objective. It is also noted that when you are running through these maps, whether it be objective based or just randomly finding it, there are crates or a variant of a crate that you can open up and it will give you salvage and weapons just like an Outbreak. And then speaking of Outbreak, this game mode also has rounds very similar to Outbreak that once you complete a map and you go back, that will count as a round and you will progress through the rounds and it will spawn in higher tiered zombies. But that is essentially the base mechanic, the way of the game. That's how it's going to be played. But now there's no reason to play the game unless there's an incentive. So let's talk about what you'll be grinding for. First, let's get this out of the way because there are no more wall buys. Now that is for this game mode. I can't vouch if that's going to be the same for their maps because they haven't released a round-based map, but for this game mode, there are no more wall buys. Instead, if you want a random weapon, or if you want a weapon in general, you'll have to select it as your loadout because there will be loadouts just like in previous games, but you'll have to select your loadout and that will be the weapon you either stuck with, or if you want a different weapon, you will have to roll the mystery box, which can be found at the central hub. And one key point that they wanted to make sure they got out about the mystery box was stating that as you progress to higher rounds, the weapons that you get out of the mystery box will also get stronger. Now, just as most of you probably thought, you're thinking weapon rarity, and I agree. I believe what they're trying to say is the weapon rarity goes up, as we see now in Cold War zombies. But that also begs the question is, how do we upgrade? Because there is no armor stand anymore. Nope, you heard me correctly. There is no more armor stand. Now, if you want to buy armor, you have to go to the crafting table, and there is a separate category now for armor. But there's no category for upgrading weapons. Now, maybe they moved it to the pack-a-punch machine, which makes a little bit more sense to upgrade your weapon at the pack-a-punch machine, where that's traditionally where you would upgrade your weapon. But they haven't really shown us that user interface of the pack-a-punch interface, so we don't know if it's over there or if it's even non-existent in this game, that instead, as you go to higher rounds, you have to buy weapons out of the mystery box just to get higher tier rare weapons. But now, since we brought the pack-a-punch machine into this, let's talk about that, because You can't buy ammo mods anymore from the Pack-a-Punch machine. They're gone out of the Pack-a-Punch machine. I will tell you where they moved to in a second, but now pretty much the only thing we know about the Pack-a-Punch machine is that is where you will Pack-a-Punch it to higher tiers. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be 3 tiers or 5 tiers, or if they're most likely going to keep it traditionally at 3 tiers, but that's, as far as we know, the only thing you'll be doing with the Pack-a-Punch machine. But now, the ammo mods, they are not gone. They're just not found there. Instead, they are adding, which you might want to sit down for this because this is a lot to take in. It's a big change, a big addition they are doing to zombies. Could be good, could be bad. I'm not entirely sure. It's really RNG related. But anyways, it is called the Altar of Covenants. Now you can find this at the spawn room, at your main hub, and at this altar, once you interact with it, you're going to notice this new interface. Now, at first glance, you can be like, hey, there's our ammo mods. This is awesome. We got our ammo mods back. Well, yes, but at second glance, there's also our perk tier upgrades. Yes, the perk upgrades, the tiers, the 1 through 5 that we get extra on top of the base ability are not going to be with the perks anymore. They are at this Altar of Covenants. Because for instance, there's Bloodlust. Melee attacks do more damage and heal you. Yes, we've seen that in a perk tier upgrade. Also, Dead Accurate. Successful shots on the same enemy deal more damage, which we've seen that with Deadshot. But they did add some new ones that might be a big game changer, like Death Blow. Critical kills return a bullet to the clip. Or Splatterfest, enemies killed by explosions have a chance to explode. But just as always, they are randomly selected on your screen for the ones you can pick. But there are different rarities, like for Legendary, you have Resurrectionist, which revive allies much faster and automatically revive nearby allies. And another legendary one is Unholy Ground. Now when you are standing still with this one, you do more damage or initially a short time after you start moving. These might be big game changers when it comes to playing zombies. But now the way this works is, if you look directly underneath, there's no salvage you pay for it, there's no zombie essence, they're hearts. I mean, they're sacrificial hearts. Now the way you get these is when you go into these miniature maps and you complete the objectives. When you complete the objectives in these maps, you get these sacrificial hearts that you can spend here for a chance to get one of these abilities. Now, unfortunately, you can only have 3 selected at one given time, but every time you go in and out of these maps, they will re-roll the abilities you can choose from, and you can always replace them assuming you have the proper amount of sacrificial hearts to purchase it. So that is a big part where the RNG comes into play, is because if you want all legendary, you're going to have to go in and out of these maps and continuously re-roll the abilities that you can purchase in hopes that you get all legendary, which you could get early game, or it could take you up to 20 to 30 rounds to get the ones you want. But now moving right along, let's talk about the perks, because I didn't really say a whole lot about them, but from the looks of them, they all have that emblem, just as we've seen in previous ones, and we can see some similar ones too, but most importantly, we can see some ones that we've never seen before. Now, again, as you see already, these are not perk machines. Now, granted, they could have done perk machines because this is actually dated back to 1944 where this has taken place, and perk machines are not perk machines, but soda machines were actually invented in 1930, so they could have done it, but instead we have these fountains that we can drink from. But yeah, so they're fountains now, and we might have some new ones or revamped. They have different logos for them. That was pretty much it. They didn't talk about the perks really at all. They just said they were fountains instead of perk machines now. But yeah, but let's talk about the field upgrades. Now, this I can get behind because I actually like the way they were going with this. Instead of them just being basic little utilities you pull out from behind, you don't know where you store them, but you pull them out from behind you, you pop them like a field upgrade. Nothing's really said. We don't know where they came from. They're just inventions. Well, these are no longer inventions. These are ancient relics that are tied to entities in the dark ether. And to be completely honest, these look sick. They look so much cooler than the field upgrades we have previously, and on top of that, they talk to you. Well, I mean, you can't talk back to them, but they do say quotes while you're in game, so it is sort of cool. You get to know your field upgrades. This is just weird. But yeah, so this relic pretty much gives us the power of the entity. They're not controlling us, but they're helping us. And why are they helping us? Because our enemy, this guy, he also has a relic. His is red and fiery and cool looking, but he's got the most powerful entity, and everybody just wants both of them down. So that is the moral of the story, is we're teaming up to take down this guy and his entity. Now, last on our list of differences or similarities in these two games is the zombie types. We will still have our base zombies, but we'll be gifted with 2 elite zombies. Now, one reminds me a lot of the Mangler. Instead of having an arm cannon, though, he has an MG on his hand or in his hand, something like that. But his name is the Sturmkrieger. Yeah, the Sturmkrieger. These are going to be hard to pronounce. Now, obviously, this one has a gun instead of a hand cannon, so he will shoot the gun at you. And if you get too close, you guessed it, he will also swing it at you. Now, the last special zombie we have is, as we formerly know him, the Tormentor. But in this case, he is the Shreers. Here, I'll put it on the screen. It makes more sense if you can read it. The Shreers, yeah. But anyways, yeah, he will explode when he gets too close to you. But that is it, and that is everything we know so far about this new game mode and the mechanics that are coming in Vanguard Zombies. Now, if you guys want to stay up to date with any future news that might be released between now and when the game is released, make sure you are subscribed. Also, make sure you are subscribed because when this game does come out, I'm going to be breaking down everything there is to know about this game and showing you guys the best way to go about every situation, whether it be leveling up your weapons or going to high rounds or completing certain objectives. I'm breaking everything down in this game and in this game mode. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.